Welcome to Some Guy's Garage. As many of you know or have been following along, I am in the process of finishing my basement, and one of the steps that are coming up is flooring. And I've been thinking about doing vinyl plank flooring, and I'm getting close to picking what I want to actually use. And one of the options I'm considering is this stone composite flooring from Newage. Not affiliated in any way, they did not send any of this to me, but I picked up a sample kit to try and pick colors in particular. But also so I can check out how durable it is. And guess what? Today we get to figure out just how durable LVP or LVT, tile or plank, flooring actually is. I think in terms of colors, I'm likely to pick somewhere down over here, although I also like this one, although this is the tile and doesn't have stair noses. That's a whole nother matter. These ones in particular, they have a nice stair nose profile that'll work for going down my stairs as well. So I'm likely to go this route, but I also like this color. But because those are out, I have 4 samples here that I can do whatever I want to. So I want to check out just how durable are these. Are they going to hold up to scratches and scuffs and drops and spills and chemicals potentially, or whatever else might get on the floors. The Newage stuff, and the reason I'm looking at this is it is actually a thicker LVP plank. It's 9.5 millimeters. It's the stone composite. It has a foam bottom and a really thick wear layer. So it's something like 27, 28 mil wear layer, which is more than most LVP products have. This is designed for use in garages. So you could park your car on this apparently. But the reason I'm thinking of going with something so thick and potentially durable, I guess we'll see, is I'd like to be able to go downstairs in my boots. I'm going to have a workshop down there. My big air compressor is down there. So I'm up and down from the garage all the time. And it'd be nice if I could have a product on the floors that would hold up to the wear and tear of walking on it in boots or other slightly harder use situations that it might encounter, being that there'll be a little workshop downstairs and I want to be able to go up and down the stairs with boots on or something like that. So anyway, let's get the testing underway and see what these things can do. I guess starting off, let's take a hammer to it. Absolutely nothing, not even a dent. Be a little more aggressive here. Nope, can't see a single dent. So hammer test is a pass. Next up, screwdriver. This is actually more of an awl, so it's just a sharp point on the end. And we'll drag it across and see what happens. Okay, that definitely marks. Not through the wear layer, but I can catch a fingernail on it. And yeah, if you go a little harder, it definitely does scratch. So something sharp like that will scratch. It doesn't look like it's all the way through. It is just in the surface layer, but it will scratch, at least with an awl like that. And yeah, it will poke as well. So that did make some little pokes in it. Similarly, a utility knife. Yeah, of course, will scratch right through just the same as the awl. And you could probably cut some of the wear layer out of it here if you were, yeah, so you can actually get underneath it and pull up some of the wear layer. There you go. You can see just little flakes coming up. So sharp stuff is a no-go. It will cut through, it will scratch. Okay, and a small punch, just we'll try something a little more sharp than just a hammer. Left a bit of a stain on there just from the dirt, although that will come off. And yes, it did actually break the surface a little bit. Not too bad though. So it looks like drops or anything like that. If it's not too sharp, like that scratch that's there or that scuff, you would never notice. And you can't catch a fingernail on it. So it seems to hold up pretty well to any blunt impact. A little more aggressive there. But yeah, blunt impact, you're not really going to hurt it that much. It did leave a bit of a mark, but nothing that could catch a fingernail, and once I've scrubbed at it there, it doesn't actually stick around. Okay, and a bit of heat. That's a small little portable blowtorch. Does smoke, does burn a little bit. Does not hold flame, which is good, so it will flame if something's against it, but the flame goes out right away. But yeah, you can see we're getting through the top layer pretty quickly here, and that's where I cut it too, so it probably had a little bit of an easier path to get through. but doesn't hold flame. Won't hold up to extreme heat though, that is for sure. Just wipe that off with a damp rag here now. So bunch of soot, but it is definitely through all of the top layer and into the core there now. So yeah, won't hold a lot of heat, but overall not too bad considering it doesn't hold flame. It won't burn by itself. That's always good. Yeah, interesting. Kind of melted together a little bit too, and a bit of smoke, but not too bad, I guess. So yeah, actually, if you were welding or doing any hot metal work, I probably wouldn't recommend this in a garage, just given it doesn't hold up to the heat. But let's grab a new piece. A new piece here, and I have some chemicals. So we'll try some tire shine, just see if that oily kind of coating stays on it. WD-40 for the fun of it. Just standard grease, we'll see what it does. We've got a big jug of used motor oil. We'll see what that is. And then getting into stuff that's a little more toxic, we got brake parts cleaner, non-chlorinated stuff. I don't want to muck with it here, and acetone. So we'll see what these all do to the finish of this, if any of them actually wear through it or take it off, just as long as you get to it quick to clean it up. So we'll start with the oils, and these ones here, we'll put a little bit on each corner before cleaning it off. I'm just gonna grab, okay, a lot. Apparently we have a lot of it coming out of there. That jug's pretty full. So we've got a bit of an oil spill here. We'll see how that holds up. We'll put a dab of grease on here. Nice dab of grease and rub it in a little bit. Just standard whatever grease. Put a splash of WD-40 on here. And a bit of tire foam somewhere in the other corner, maybe down here. And a little up there. Why not? Call that modern art. Let it sit for a minute and then clean it up and see how it looks. All right, it's been around a minute. Let me clean some of this off here. I'll just grab a rag and wipe what I can. Obviously the oil is going to be a bit mucky here, but let's see what we can do. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. So that's just dry wiping it off without any chemicals or anything else to remove stuff. It's still a little more shiny than it was. Let me try just a little bit of Spray 9 here. So this is just Spray 9 heavy duty cleaner. Honestly, looks good as new. Yeah, so common chemicals, the stuff you'd typically get in a garage, oil, grease, tire cleaners, things like that, don't seem to have any effect on it, which is good. Let's try stuff that's a little more harsh. So first things first, a bit of brake clean here. Really soak it in there, let it have some fun. And again, we'll just give it a minute. Okay, been another minute here. We'll wipe it off. Actually took some of that, still the leftover sheen from the other oils, take some of that off. Does not look like it's taken anything else off though. So, yeah, it doesn't seem like brake clean did any harm to it. Yeah, surface still feels the same, no discoloration or anything like that. Yeah, even at the angles with the light, can't really see anything. Okay, so no harm with brake clean if it only stays on for a moment. Finally, let's try some acetone here. This could be interesting. There we go, I've got a nice little puddle here of acetone, kind of just in this circle here. And as before, we'll just let it sit for a minute and see what happens. All right, it's been another minute with the acetone here. I'm gonna kind of wipe it off. Interesting. Hard to see, but I think it did pull a little bit of the texture here is a little bit different now. You can't really see it on the camera, but you can feel it. Which wouldn't surprise me. I mean, acetone's used to like really clean up paints and other finishing things, fiberglass, stuff like that. So it wouldn't surprise me. So it looks like, it's hard to say. I would be cautious with acetone anyway. It does look like it might eat away at the finish if you left it over time or repetitively. But overall, chemical resistance seems pretty good. The normal sort of stuff you might use in a garage, Especially as long as you clean it up pretty quickly, within a couple minutes, you're probably okay. It's not going to destroy the tile. Acetone is probably the only one I would potentially try to avoid getting on this flooring. Basically wipe it up immediately, or otherwise it might start to ruin the finish, and especially repeated use over time. So just continuing on, other things to try. I've got a steel brush here. If for whatever reason you went to scrub the floor with a steel brush, I don't think you would, but what would it do? That's against the grain, so probably the more destructive way of doing it. It does, the brush is pretty dirty, so I'm not surprising that it's doing something there. Let's see if that'll clean off now, or if it's done some permanent damage. Just spray 9 again here. So interesting right here. It's not wiping off very easily, and that's within that puddle of where the acetone was. So actually, I think the acetone did damage the finish maybe more than I expected. Won't really come off in that one little chunk. The rest of it, though, held up pretty good. Like, not any deep scratches like we were getting with the knife or the awl or anything like that. Not too bad, actually. So fairly durable against something like that. Interesting. Okay, so next thing to try, I have my welding cart here, which has some of those rubber casters on it, and just one corner of it up on there. Just want to see how the flooring holds up when I move the cart around and turn the casters on it. This will be something I probably will do in the basement. When I have the flooring down, I'll probably have some stuff on wheels, and I want to just see if it damages the flooring, moving a fairly heavy cart around on it. So let's have a closer look at that. So again, dirty, but we'll have to take it over to the bench to see if we did any damage. Okay, so taking a look now that we're at the bench, just dirty again. We'll clean it up and see if we can see any damage from that. Okay, taking a closer look, again, where the acetone was, we have some discoloration that just won't come out easily. In terms of physical damage, though, I do not see any dents or scratches in it. So yeah, the acetone definitely did a number on that section, but the rest of it seems fine. Okay, and this might not be a fair test, but I have a vice-mounted press brake here, and I just want to see kind of what happens to the tile as it gets squeezed down like that. Like, how durable is it from a bending force? So we will just start cranking down on it, and I'm going to put a pair of safety glasses on. Let's go here. All right, so it snapped. Let's have a closer look at that. Yeah, so fairly clean break, right through all the layers. Would have been like that. But yeah, so eventually it will snap. It doesn't really bend. It's a little more brittle than it is bendy. So that is interesting as well. Anyway, that was just a bit of durability testing on the LVP flooring from Newage. I guess overall observations is it will scratch, although you do have to get pretty aggressive with it, just like normal walking on it or anything like that, or dragging something against it probably wouldn't do the same as such sharp objects that I use, so like a knife or an awl. It will burn, so anything super hot, so if you were trying to weld in a garage with this on it, because it is designed for in garages, if you were to try and weld, that's not going to work. Impact-wise, though, it held up great. So even with a punch or a hammer, didn't even dent it, didn't make a mark on it, which probably has something to do with why this broke and didn't dent. It was a more solid, harder material rather than something soft and flexible, which prevents denting, which for flooring, that's probably a good thing anyway. You're more likely to drop something on this than to bend this for whatever reason. So it's probably a good attribute that they did to this. Overall, though, I wish there was a little bit more scratch resistance. It'd be nice if the coating was a harder coating so that you couldn't scratch through by accident, though it probably holds up as good as any other type of flooring. If I did that to tile or hardwood, especially hardwood, or any other flooring, you are going to scratch it if you just take a knife to it, basically. Anyway, I do have a few more pieces, so if there's any other tests you'd like to see done to these, I'd be more than happy to do a follow-up video. If you aren't already subscribed or haven't already checked out my basement finishing series, make sure you do that. And as always, thanks for watching.